But here's one final twist to add to this already confusing situation. Despite the uncertainty about who owns the property, Ashbrookes has started working on the interior development. Their website's full of photos and updates, making it look like they're making progress.
So they're going full speed ahead, even though they might not actually own the property and they haven't even got planning permission.
It's a strange approach, to say the least. They're trying to create this image of progress, but the whole foundation of the project is shaky. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Might look a bit better on the surface, but it's still a pig.
Well, this whole situation's starting to smell like something a pig left behind. We've covered a lot of ground here, but I have a feeling this story goes deeper than we can see right now.
You're absolutely right. Given what we found out about S2 John Street Ltd, we need to widen our investigation to look at other special purpose vehicles that operate under the Ashbrookes Group Ltd umbrella. There's a good chance this rabbit hole goes even deeper.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Ashbrookes Group Limited loan note investigation. It's been a bit of a whirlwind so far. So before we go deeper down this rabbit hole and see what else is going on with the Ashbrookes Group, let's take a minute to recap what we've uncovered so far.
Yeah, it's easy to get bogged down in the details, so let's break down those key takeaways for our listeners.
Absolutely. We've met a lot of characters and untangled a pretty complex web of financial dealings. What should our listeners be focusing on?
The main thing to remember is that the situation with Ashbrookes Group Limited and their loan notes is full of uncertainty and potential risk. We've got those inconsistencies with the planning approvals for the John Street property that was supposed to be the big selling point for this whole investment.
Right, and we can't forget that they haven't even confirmed who owns that property, despite Ashbrookes saying they finalized the purchase.
That's right. The land registry records show a completely different owner, but the security trustee registered charges against the property before the alleged purchase was even finished. It's like trying to put a lien on a car that's not even yours yet.
That's a perfect analogy. So basically, they're playing fast and loose with investors' money, using a property as collateral that they might not even have the right to use.
You got it. And then there's S2 John Street Ltd. That's where the investors' money was sent. This company's been declared balance sheet insolvent, meaning they owe more than they have. And to top it off, they don't even list any property assets.
So if they're using property as a guarantee, but they don't own any, that's a huge problem, right? It's like promising someone a piece of cake that doesn't exist.
Exactly. That's a massive red flag, and one that any smart investor should be aware of. And we can't forget about the connections between all the major players, those overlapping roles, the fancy parties, the financial maneuvering. It all raises questions about whether they're being transparent and ethical.
So what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What's the most important lesson they should get from this deep dive?
If there's one thing you remember from today, it's this: do your due diligence before you invest a single penny, especially when you're dealing with a complicated network of companies and individuals like this one.
Don't be fooled by promises of quick money. Do your homework, look beyond the fancy marketing, dig into the finances, check the ownership structure, and research the people behind it.
And never underestimate the importance of getting professional financial advice. A good advisor can help you navigate the complexities of investing. They can explain the risks, assess the legitimacy of the opportunity, and make sure your investments match your goals and your risk tolerance.
It's like having a guide leading you through a dangerous jungle. They can help you avoid those hidden traps and dangerous paths. But what about the people who've already invested with Ashbrookes Group Limited and are feeling a bit uneasy after hearing all of this? What can they do to protect themselves?
Well, it's not too late to take action first. Gather all the documents you have related to your investment. Think of it like putting together a puzzle. We need the loan note agreement, any emails or letters, bank statements, anything that shows what happened.
That paper trail is so important if you need to take legal action right. It's proof of what they promised and what actually happened.
Absolutely. And next, you should consider reporting the situation to the authorities in the UK. That's the FCA or the SFO. They're the ones who investigate financial misconduct and try to protect people from scams.
So by reporting it, you're not only helping yourself, but you could be stopping other people from falling into the same trap.
That's right. It's about exposing these practices and holding people accountable. And I know going through something like this can feel really lonely. But remember, you're not alone. There are investor action groups out there that are specifically designed to help victims of financial fraud.
Those groups can be so helpful. They can provide a community, share resources and strategies, and remind you that you're not the only one going through this.
Right. They can offer support and help you feel empowered to take control of the situation